Hello, and welcome back to the DCL community, where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are so excited to be doing a deep dive on what you actually do on board the Disney cruise ships. But we talk a lot about the planning and different aspects of the cruise, but what do you actually do once you're on board? That's what we're going to be getting into today. So as you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know which ship you're booked on or which ship you're thinking about booking. And as people are coming in, Megan, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Megan Farwell. I'm a travel agent with Hyatt Magical Vacations, and I specialize in Disney cruises. I love cruising with Disney, and today we're kind of talking about all about onboard activities, just because we get this question a lot, like, am I going to be bored on my cruise? What's there to do once you're actually on the ship? So that's kind of what we're going to be diving into today.
Yes. And if you have any questions as we're going through, go ahead and put those in the comments and we will do our best to get to them as we're going through. But if you maybe have a more specific question, feel free to reach out to Megan. That's the link to her page on the DCL community site that's up on screen. And I'll get this in the comments for everybody as well. But her planning services are actually free for you to use. So reach out to her, let her be that resource in your planning so that you're not trying to navigate this whole process on your own, because Disney cruises are very specific product and experience. You're not just going and sitting on the beach for a week. Right. So let's go ahead and let's learn a little bit more about you, Megan.
Okay, so I have 3 kids, currently aged 12, 9, and 5. We've sailed on every ship so far. We've sailed almost every itinerary. And like I said before, DCL is my favorite type of vacation. So I just always want to make sure that my clients, or anyone really, has the best cruise possible, the most stress-free, the most seamless. So that's why travel agents are here to help you plan your cruise.
Yeah, so true. I wish I used a travel agent when I booked my first cruise, but once I learned that they literally cost me $0 more, right. I was like, what am I doing? I'm leaving value on the table. But let's dive in. I'm so glad you have the screenshot in here.
Yeah, so to get started, when we talk about onboard activities, those are all going to be listed in the Navigator. The Navigator is DCL's app. You will get your daily schedule within the app, and unfortunately, they don't show it to you ahead of your cruise. It only shows up the day that you get on the ship when you're at the cruise terminal. But you can scroll through. It'll show you literally every single activity at every time for the entirety of your cruise once you're on the ship. And one of the tips I like to tell people is to make sure you heart the activities, because that's going to save it in your favorites, so to speak. And then it will remind you 15 minutes prior to the activity. So that way, if you're at the pool or somewhere else eating, you're going to get that reminder and be like, oh yeah, I did want to go do that. So that's the app. That's the Navigator app. Sorry. Yeah. And that'll have the whole schedule of every activity that'll be offered.
Yes, I was going to say, it's so easy to lose track of time on board, especially when you're just relaxing. You're like, I don't need to go and meet, Mickey for the 13th time. Yeah. I'm just going to sit by the pool and chill. And somebody's asking, is the app free? Do you have to pay for it?
It is free. So the app's totally free. And then they have a Wi-Fi service that you connect to use the app. However, you cannot use that Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi, you can't use for anything else other than the app. So, but the app is free. Yeah.
Yeah. So you only need to pay if you want to do like Facebook or email or anything, streaming movies, which I don't know. Yeah. I don't know who's doing that on board, but maybe.
What can you do on your Disney cruise? So the options are almost endless. Like I showed in that screenshot, when you're scrolling through, there's literally going to be something every 15 minutes of every day. Like, there is so much to do. They'll have family activities, they'll have adult-only activities, they'll have kid-only activities, and then most of the activities are included. I would say 75% to 80% of the activities are included in your cruise fare, but there are some that cost extra, so we're going to go over that as well.
Yes, I love that ice cream picture. You can just see how happy your daughter is. I love it.
So first of all, I just started off with characters because that's such a huge part of what you're doing on the ship. I mean, it's a Disney cruise, so most people are there to meet Disney characters. So some examples of who you could meet: the Fab Five, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, Goofy. I guess that's 6 actually. Princesses that can vary a little bit as to which specific princess will be on which specific ship. Stitch, Captain Hook and Smee, Peter Pan. A few Marvel characters are on every cruise, and then you also have the Marvel Day at Sea if you're on that specific cruise, and then Woody and Jesse. So that's just some examples. There could be others. Sometimes there's special characters that pop out that you don't see often, so it can be a surprise too. But those are just an example of some of the characters you can meet on your cruise.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, if you are thinking about doing a Marvel Day at Sea, they announced those dates for next year. Reach out to Megan. Her and her family just did one, and you guys loved it, right?
We did love it. Yeah. My son, he's in the picture right there. He's a big Marvel fan. My husband's a big Marvel fan. And even us girls, my other two kids and me, we love it too. And it's only one day. So if you're like, oh, I don't want a whole Marvel cruise, it's just one day of the cruise. So everything else is going to be exactly the same. They just have that one day at sea that's dedicated to Marvel. So it's super fun.
Yes. And do you have to make any reservations to see these characters ahead of time?
Generally, no. There are a couple of exceptions. You can do the Royal Gathering, which is a group of 4 princesses that you meet all at once. However, you can meet all those princesses separately as well. It's just with the Royal Gathering, you can meet them all at the same time. So it's kind of more convenient, I guess you could say. But no, typically, no. You don't need reservations for any of the characters.
I was going to say, on our last cruise, we ended up meeting all the princesses before the Royal Gathering. Yeah. So we could cancel the Royal Gathering because, don't need it at that point. Oh, yes, the pools, every kid's favorite.
Yeah, so next set of family activities, pools, water slides, and splash pads. So every ship is going to have multiple pools. They will have at least 1 water slide and 1 splash pad, and most of the ships have more than 1 water slide and more than 1 splash pad. So you've got plenty of opportunities for water activities. I will say the pools are not lap pools. These are not, Olympic size pools. So they can get crowded. So I put on here pro tip. Some of the best times to visit are your embarkation day or port day when everyone else is off at port. If you stay on the ship, it's probably going to be a lot less crowded for the pools and water slides. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's a great way if it's hot outside. They've got shaded areas to sit, but you can still go get in the pool. So it's great.
Yeah. And remind me, I know we have a lot of people who are interested in the Alaska cruises or maybe even Northern European. Do they heat the pools for those cooler temps?
Yep, the pools are heated, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yes, don't want to be chilly in the pool, although kids swim no matter what the temperature is.
Yes, they do, for sure. We went in January one time, and it was chilly, and my kids were still in the pool. So me and my husband were like, we'll just sit right next to you. Yeah. Okay, next family activity I have on here is the evening stage shows and the movie theater. So they have Broadway caliber stage shows every evening, or not every evening, but they have 3 unique shows per cruise. So if you're on like a 5-night cruise, for example, they're going to fill those other 2 nights with like a comedian, ventriloquist, magician, etc. on those off nights from the shows. And then also the first run movies in the movie theater, that's all included. So you don't have to pay any extra for that. The shows are amazing. Everybody asked me, should I pick my ship? My kids really love Ariel, for example. Should we pick the ship that has the Little Mermaid show? And I'm like, all the shows are awesome. Like you cannot go wrong. So I wouldn't pick your ship just based on what evening shows they have.
Yeah, so true. And if you're trying to figure out how to figure out which ship to choose, I would say the easiest thing to do is reach out to Megan and start having that conversation, because all the ships do have different things to offer. But we actually did another video talking about what the best ship is for you and your family. And that's over on the DCL Community YouTube. So you can go find that as well. But definitely reach out to Megan and start having that conversation.
Okay, more family activities, game shows, trivia, and bingo. So game shows and trivia are going to be included. They're free. They have family time game show. They have a kind of a game show on Pirate Night where they get kids to come up from the audience and participate. And then so many different kinds of trivia. Like I didn't even list them all, but there's music trivia, movie trivia, specific Disney trivia, sports trivia, like general trivia. There's so much. So no matter what you are an expert in, there'll probably be trivia for you. And then they also have bingo, which does cost additional money. So, but they're all super, super fun. My family loves doing these activities on the ship. We always make time to do a lot of them. So they're super fun.
And I was going to say, the crew who runs them are so engaging and so much fun. I mean, Disney crew in general is just fantastic.
Yes.
And Somebody is asking on this last slide, do you have to make reservations for the theater seats?
No, you don't.
No.
It's just first come, first serve. I will say a lot of people line up about 30 minutes early for the theater. That's when they open the doors to get in. But even if you show up 5 minutes, you might not get the best seat in the house, but you'll still have seats. So,
Yes.
but no reservations are needed.
Yeah, no, nothing you need to worry about booking ahead of time there. I'm usually running in last minute with my hair still drying from the shower.
With a popcorn bucket under your arm.
Exactly. Have you seen me on board before? Because that sounds too accurate.
Okay, so they also have sports, mini golf in the gym. So mini golf is not on all the ships. They only have it on the Dream and the Fantasy and the Wish, I believe, pretty sure. So the smaller ships don't have mini golf just because they don't have room for it, unfortunately. But they have a sports court with like basketball. They have ping pong tables, shuffleboard. They have the sports simulator. Again, that's on the Dream and the Fantasy, and that's basically like a simulated screen, and then you can pick your activity. Like you can play soccer, or I think they had golf, football, several different things you can choose from. That one does cost additional money. You do have to reserve a time slot for the sports simulator.
Yeah, so I was going to say that one. It doesn't seem like that one sells out as much, but
no, usually not.
I know that from the people who have done it, whose kids love sports, it's like a must do for them.
Yeah, it's really fun. We actually did it for the first time on our last cruise. And yeah, we had never done it before, but it was really fun. And I think we booked it like the day before we did it, like while we were on the ship. So it's pretty easy to get spots for that.
Fantastic. And would you say it's worth it? Would you do it again?
Yeah, we would do it again. It was fun.
Love that.
Okay, so then these are kind of more like fill-in activities, I would say. I wouldn't necessarily like plan a day around these, but they're still really fun. They have animation classes where you learn how to draw your favorite characters. They have towel folding or napkin folding where you can learn how to fold the towel animals, or like they do the special napkin folding in the dining rooms at night. So you can learn how to do that. And they also have cooking demonstrations. So just different kind of like classes or demonstrations like that. If it's super hot outside, it's nice to go in the air conditioning and do one of those, or, just something like that.
So true. Yeah. And for the cooking classes, they usually have a chef that runs them. That's one of the chefs on board. And it's just the coolest experience. And usually you get to taste some food and take a recipe home with you. Yeah. So it's a win-win because we're not fed enough on Disney cruises, right?
Right. So then some other family activities I have are dance parties and the diaper dash. So dance parties, usually they're held in the grand hall or the atrium, they call it. So they'll bring the characters out into the audience with the kids. The kids absolutely love it because they're literally dancing right next to Mickey Mouse. It's awesome. And the adults love it too, I have to say. Yeah. And then the diaper dash, they are racing babies. Need I say more? They put the babies down on this little mat and have them crawl to their mom or dad. And it's usually like a whole crowd of people cheering on the babies. It's so much fun.
I was going to say the electric feeling of 3 decks of grown people cheering for stranger babies to win. I know it might sound crazy, but it is a must-do activity.
Yes, for sure. And they only do it once. They only do it once per cruise. A lot of these things you'll see it repeated on multiple days, but the diaper dash is usually only once per cruise. Yeah. So I typically find it as soon as we get on board and make sure I heart it and make sure I don't have anything else, conflicting with that and I think I saw in your stories, you didn't get to do it last time you were there, right? Because you had booked something else.
We had a wine tasting, and let me tell you, I was conflicted. I almost canceled the wine tasting for the diaper dash. Like, that's how much fun it is, everybody. Oh my gosh, so good. And somebody's just asking, yes, the pools are heated. And do my kids have to have access to this app on their phones? My youngest doesn't have a phone yet.
No, kids don't have to have access. I mean, as long as parents do, you can give kids access if you want. Like my daughter, my oldest, we just have like a phone that she only takes on cruises. So she did have the app on her phone and had access to it. And then she could also message us through the app, but no, they don't have to. Just parents. Okay, so another family activity, deck parties and pirate night, kind of group these two together. So they always have a sail away deck party on embarkation day. It's amazing. All the characters, that's like usually the first time you see a lot of the characters. They all come out and dance on stage. They have awesome music. On the last one we went on, they had a roped off area in the front for the kids. So all the kids could see. It's not like the kids are trying to see over the parents or, taller adults. And it was just a blast. Like, and then they usually play the horn at the end. They blast off confetti. Like it's a party for sure.
Yeah.
And then a similar thing is on Pirate Night. They do the Pirate Night deck party with fireworks, which is exclusive to Disney. And then they have tons of people dressed up in pirate costumes, and they have special characters out like Captain Hook and Smee. We've seen Peter Pan on Pirate Night before, so
Yes.
I
I was going to say, I find Peter Pan just wandering a lot of times. Like I'll be walking by the gift shops and he'll be hanging out. So definitely
that's how
keep
we
your
saw
eye-
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And somebody's asking about Picnic with Olaf on the Wish. We have some information about that coming up,
Yep.
right? Okay,
Yep.
so stay tuned on that one. And then I know we're going to have people who maybe, their question's going to be, I know we see this one daily. Do all cruises have Pirate Night? Am I going to miss out on a deck party because I'm not?
All of them except Alaska. Alaska does not have Pirate Night. They have the Frozen Night instead, which is like a Frozen show and a Frozen Night. I'm not sure. Do the European cruises have them as Pirate Night
Not
as well?
all
I don't.
of them.
Yeah, I didn't think all of them did.
They added in last year. It's brand new last year. Is that like Color Me Spin show?
Okay, yeah.
It premiered on the Dream last year, and I think it's also on the Fantasy now. So I think that might be taking the place. But regardless, you'll still have a sail away party, and at some point, characters will be dancing.
Right.
Yes. But the fireworks at sea, if you're interested in that, Megan sailed on the Caribbean and Bahamian itinerary. So if you're wanting to do Pirate Night, that's a good way to guarantee that you're going to get one.
Okay, so here's some family activities that do cost extra. So Olaf's Picnic or Royal Court Royal Tea. So Olaf's Picnic is only on the Wish, and then the Royal Court Royal Tea is on all the other ships. So this is a special dining experience with gifts for the kids, along with a private meet and greet with some of your favorite Frozen characters or princesses. So it'll be Frozen characters at the Olaf's Picnic, and then princesses at the Royal Court Royal Tea. A lot of people love this. It's definitely a way to get that kind of like one-on-one time with the princesses or the Frozen characters. The gifts are really nice. Like the kids come out with like, a handful of gifts. So it's a special experience for sure.
I was going to say, it seems like, I know it's additional money and the cruise is already a big investment. So I think, with these, no, you don't have to do them. You'll still have plenty of opportunities to see characters. But your family's done this one. Would you say, is it like a one and done sort of experience? Would you do it again?
I probably would say one and done for us.
That's the feedback that I always get is was nice to do it. You got the pictures and the goodies. And
I think a lot of people like to do it if they have like a special occasion on that cruise. Like I just booked somebody that it's going to be their daughter's birthday. So they're going to do the Royal Court Royal Tea. But I would say probably one and done for a lot of people. Yeah.
And somebody's asking, would my son enjoy this?
I think so. They recently changed the gifts to be more less gender specific. So it's not just going to be like, super specific princess stuff. And I think a lot of kids love it, boy or girl.
Love that. And somebody's asking, does the Wonder have Pirate Night for 3-day cruises? I think the Australian ones had Pirate Night.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's where the Wonder's doing 3 nights. There's no 3-night Alaska. Okay. Yeah. And then what about Captain Jack?
I don't think I've ever seen Captain Jack.
Oh my gosh. What? Okay. You need to look for Captain Jack the next time you're on board. Or sometimes you'll find him just wandering around Castaway. Like we've seen him.
Oh yeah. We did see him on Castaway. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yes.
We haven't ever seen him on board though, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say there's some specialty characters like Megan saying it depends on your sailing because you might have like Jack and Sally for Halloween. You might have Santa for Christmas, right? Like there's a variety of characters, but you can always expect those consistent, the Fab Five and a couple of princesses. You make sure they are always going to be there for you.
Right.
Everybody else, it depends where you're sailing.
So here are some kids only activities. They don't cost extra. So Kids Club, obviously, they also, not only can they just go in the Kids Club and play and do all the things that are just naturally in the Kids Club, they also have specialty activities. They do not cost extra. Pluto's Pajama Party. This is where they give you like this printed pillowcase. You get to color it with like fabric markers, and then Pluto comes in to the Kids Club. Story time with Belle. She comes in and reads a story. Super cute. Stitch's Space Goo. Stitch comes in and the kids make slime, basically, which is, I know every parent's favorite thing is slime. But you got to
What
do
a souvenir.
Yeah. And then another example is Sarge Says. So this is where the Toy Story soldiers will come in and do like a Simon Says type game with the kids. So those are all in the Kids Club. So the parents can't go, unfortunately, but they're all included. You do not have to pay extra for any of that. So it's really fun.
Yes, I was going to say the kids have a blast, and more often than not, they're going to be so upset when you come to pick them up because they're going to be having so much fun.
Yeah.
And I see a bunch of questions coming in. Let's get through the next couple of activities, and then we can dive into everybody's questions. So keep sending your questions in, everybody.
Okay, so here's a kids-only activity that is an extra cost, the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. There are several different packages to choose from. They have pretty much every princess dress to choose, or you can just get hair and makeup as well. You don't have to purchase a dress. They have Captain Mickey makeovers, Captain Minnie makeovers, or knights. And then they also have a pirate makeover available on Pirate Night. So yeah, that is an additional cost, but I think it's definitely worth it. If you just do like the hair and makeup, that's only $99. It's really not bad. You get a t-shirt, you get a backpack, they get jewelry, they get the makeup. So I think it's a pretty good value for the kids.
Absolutely. And you can always bring your own dress if you don't want one of Disney's. But one of the coolest things I found out, I didn't know this forever, is that adults can go to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique only on Pirate Night. I'm like, what have I been doing this whole time? It's that I can experience it. I can sit in the chair and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to do that on one of my cruises. It sounds like a blast.
So this is kind of for adults and teens, the spa and salon. This is additional cost, obviously. Teens 13 and up, they can book services as long as you're with an adult. And then I said anecdotally, because it's kind of like a your mileage may vary type situation. I have heard of younger kids being able to go in and get haircuts as well. So like I've seen some things where they give you, if you go in and get your first haircut, they give you like the little certificate and like a little keepsake box to put the hair in. But then I've heard some people that they told them no too. So I think it's kind of just like, you'll just have to ask and hope that they tell you yes, because officially I don't think it's offered. So
yes, good to know. Yeah, I'm doing a spa treatment on my next one, and I'm very excited. Oh, the tastings.
Okay, so here we're getting into some of the adult-only activities. So beverage tastings, they are additional money. They have so many different ones to choose from. I didn't even list everything that they offer. Whiskey tastings, rum, wine, beer, bourbon, champagne, mixology, where you learn how to make cocktails, plus more. Like I said, there's so many different options to choose from. I've actually personally never done one of the beverage tastings because I'm just not a big alcohol person. I'm not against it.
That's okay.
I'm not against it. It means I just don't like the taste. Like I'm just, so I'm like, why would I pay for it but
100%. I have family, and that's one of the big reasons that I tell these specific family members that like concierge wouldn't be worth it for them, because one of the big perks is the happy hour every day, and they don't drink any alcohol. So does it make sense? And I do enjoy a nice glass of bubbly or a margarita. So it doesn't make sense for everybody. I know some people will say, well, my wife really likes it, but I don't. Can I join? And I've heard mixed reviews on that as well.
Yeah, I think you used to be able to more, but I feel like they've kind of been a little bit more strict with that lately, because I think before they could at least like come into the lounge with you and just kind of watch or whatever. But I think they have been a little bit more strict about that lately. So I would probably lean towards no if that's what you're wanting to do. Or just be prepared to be told no, probably.
Yes, and it's definitely a pleasant surprise if they do let you in.
Yeah.
So many great questions, guys. Keep them coming. We'll answer them all at the end. I promise. I promise.
Okay, so another adult only is the dining. It's super, super popular. This is one that the beverage tastings before and the dining, you do have to reserve them in advance. So they have Palo, Remy, or Enchanté. They offer brunch, dinner, a dessert tasting, and prima notte. So there's several different options to choose from. Like I said, it's super, super popular. Lots of people love it, especially Palo brunch, Palo dinner. So that's something you'll want to try and reserve in advance if you're interested in that.
Yeah, it's delicious and so worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so adults only, I don't know if you could call this an activity, but I put it on there.
Yeah.
So they have bars, lounges, nightclubs on every ship. There's lots of live music in the evenings for adults only. It's a really nice environment, I guess you could say. It's very relaxing. And some of the spaces they have are just beautiful. I can't think of what the name is, but on the Wish, the one with all the flowers on the ceiling.
The Bayou.
Yes, it's so pretty.
Yeah, so
and this
great.
is the Hyperspace, which is the Star Wars lounge. So they have a lot of really cool locations for these.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And the live music is seriously top
It's really good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I kind of just did a summary. What's included? So there's no extra charge for any of this. So character meet and greets, all of the pools, water slides, and splash pads, the sports and the mini golf, other than the sports simulator, the kids clubs, the dance parties and deck parties, the game shows and trivia, the animation, towel folding, and cooking classes, all the stage shows, the movie theater, and pirate night. So, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff too. That's the other thing is I racked my brain to think of everything I could, but there's honestly so much that I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
And that's what you made the point when we started. People are always like, "Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to be bored when I'm on the ship."
Yeah.
I feel like the people who are used to going to the parks and they're used to just constantly being on their feet and on the go, they're worried they're not going to have anything to do. And I'm like, there are some days where I'm just pooped by the end of the day because I've been doing every event possible. And just a reminder here to everybody: all of these that are on screen right now, you do not need a reservation for.
Right.
So don't stress, don't panic, don't try and pre-plan. And like Megan was saying, Disney will do some surprise things. I know on our last sailing, they had a special guest from Broadway. Earlier this year, we were on the Wish, and they had some celebrities that did a meet and greet, right? Like Disney will have on the Alaska cruises, they might have a naturalist come on board. There's so many things that Disney can plan last minute to have somebody come on and do something unique. And if you over plan your cruise, this is like my biggest, if I could shake every Disney cruiser and tell them not to over plan their vacation, I would, because you will miss out on the magical moments of running into Cinderella in the elevator or, just dance parties with characters if you try and overplan your cruise. So don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, so the next one is what's not included. And see, this is what I like. You can tell it's a much shorter list than what is included. So the adult beverage tastings, the adult dining, Olaf's Royal Picnic or the Royal Tea Royal Court, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, the Spa and Salon, and Bingo. That's pretty much it as far as I can think of. You could certainly go on the cruise and not pay for a single extra thing and still be very busy and have an amazing time. So
yes. And just a reminder for everybody, the activities that are off the ship, so your excursions, they're not included. We're focused just on the ones that you find on board the ship. So like Megan said, you could have an amazing cruise and literally not spend any more than gratuities.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love Disney Cruise Line so much. I love it. And don't we have to buy popcorn at the theater? And yes.
You have to buy popcorn. The nice thing is, if you already have a popcorn bucket, you can bring it on the ship and get discounted refills. I think they're like $1.50 for the discounted refills, or you can buy a popcorn bucket on the ship. I think it's like $8 for the first one, and then get discounted refills after that. So it's a pretty inexpensive snack, I think, in my opinion.
Yes. Totally true. And, if you want to buy any candies, there's some specialty sweet shops.
Mhm.
Megan and I also did an event all about what's not included in your cruise. So things like that, if you're going to go to the show, your pop or soda, if that's what you call it, is not going to be included, but it is up on deck. So I would say if you're trying to budget for your cruise, Megan's a mom. She gets it. Work with her to try and plan out all of these details so that, you're not having to stress about budgets. She can talk to you about payments as well. But let's go ahead and dive in because so many questions. Yes, another fellow pop, us Midwesterners,
Midwest.
right? Somebody's asking, how do you actually book all of these non-included things?
So depending on your Castaway Key status or Castaway Club, sorry, they open at certain intervals before the cruise. So I believe silver is like 75 days before the cruise. And then I'm not sure what the exact numbers are, but it tells you once you're booked, it tells you the exact date that you are eligible to book the activities. And then it's all right there. You can do it from the app or the website. It's very simple. So
I was going to say, I know that I like to book all my own pre-booked activities, but as a collisions, that's something that you can help with too. Can you help book these things?
I can. Yep.
Love that. Somebody asked about the transatlantic. Am I going to be bored with so many days at sea, or do they have more activities?
They have more. They have more for sure. They just add things. Like you said earlier, they just come up with new things. They bring people on the ship to do new things. So I still don't think you'd be bored. Like, I think it would be a dream to be on a Disney ship for 14 days. That's like my goals,
Agreed. I was going to say, I know last year they would do like special morning shows where, officers of the ship would have time every morning where they were going to talk to you about what was happening throughout the day. They have additional adult only activities. I mean, Disney wants you to have a good time on board, right? It's in their best interest for you to have a good time on board. So they're not going to leave you just to kind of vouch for yourself. And then somebody's asking about a good age for Olaf's Picnic and Royal Tea.
I would say, so the ages that you can book it are age 3 to 12. I would say any of those ages. I think any of them. Really.
Yes.
My oldest daughter was like 10 or 11 when we did it. And my youngest daughter was like 3 or 4, because I can't remember exactly which cruise it was. But, and my son was like 8, and they all loved it. So, yeah.
That's such a good range. It's so nice having a mom in here who right. You because you've been there with your kids and you have their, kids are the toughest critics sometimes.
Yeah.
And somebody's asking about the room decor package. Is it worth it? And do you set it up or do they?
So you do not set it up. They typically put it up the first day, like before you even go into your room, they'll have it all set up for you. I think it's worth it. It's super cute. You get to keep all the stuff. It's not like you have to give it back or whatever. I know one of them's like a really cute blanket, and then like pillowcases or maybe even a pillow. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's really cute, especially if you're celebrating a special occasion. They have like a birthday one, so they're very cute. Yeah,
it's just some extra magic to have some fun. And then so we got when to book, and somebody asked, how do you actually book these?
So on the website, after you book, you'll log in to the disneycruise.com website, and so your login is going to be, if you already have a Disney login, it's all the same for every Disney website. So you log in using your information. You use your confirmation number to link your cruise. And then once that's linked, there'll be like a little menu up at the top that says like manage my activities or book my activities. So you click on that, and then right there underneath that says onboard fun. That's what it's called, is onboard fun. So then you can do it by day. It sorts it by day for you. So you can, it shows what activities they offer on each day. It's very simple and intuitive once you're on the website and kind of going through it. So
yes. And you can do it all in your app too. So if you decide, that you're cruising and you want to go ahead and do something, maybe Palo brunch last minute, or if you want to cancel Palo brunch last minute, you can go ahead and make those changes in your app as well in real time. And you can see what's available. Disney on most recent sailing, they ended up adding some additional opportunity. because there was just demand for it. So definitely keep checking back.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get back on the ship after this.
Yes. So they're opening, my window opens tomorrow for the new itinerary. So I'm trying to convince, I'm like, we should just go ahead and book one just so we
Yes.
have the price locked in, of
Yes.
course. And I have a
100%.
placeholder, so like I have to use it. I mean, come on.
Yes, I fully support that. I sign off. And I was going to say, for those who don't know, booking on opening day, that's how you get the best price,
Yes.
right?
Yep,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah. So if you want to cruise anytime, really, but if you wanted to cruise on this next batch of itineraries that's open, or on a variety of other cruise lines, Megan can help you with all of that. I'm going to get her contact information in the comments again for everybody, but it's up on screen as well. Reach out to her, let her be that resource in your planning. Like we've said a couple times, right? She's a mom. She gets it. There's a lot of coordinating that goes on, but she's an expert when it comes to Disney cruising and can help you have the best vacation without any of the stress. She can help with your transfers. She can help with your, pre-cruise stay. She can help with everything so that you can just focus on having a good time. And Megan, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.